What's up guys, it's Tempo here, and today I'm going to give you my top 5 tips for solo queue players in Marvel Rivals. I've been able to climb all the way from Bronze 5 to Diamond 1 in exactly 30 hours, all from solo queuing. Make sure you stick around until the end, because I have a bonus tip that will seriously change the way you play the game. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. Tip number 1 is to learn how to flex. We all know the feeling too well of loading in and 4 players on your team insta-lock DPS. While this is impossible to avoid, there are some things you can do to help in this situation. First off, if you're a DPS player, you need to learn either support or tank, or maybe even both. DPS is thought of by many players to be the most fun, therefore it's the most popular. Not knowing another role can be dangerous because you are gonna run into stubborn people who would rather throw the game than swap roles. This means the best thing we can do in this situation is to have a backup role that we can fall into, providing the team with a greater chance to win. Of course, if you're a tank or support main, this doesn't apply as much, but to a degree, it is still worth learning another role. Every role will have one tricks, so just try to be prepared for these situations whenever you queue up for a game, and you'll be able to win way more in the long run. My advice to you would be joining a game, selecting the hero you're best at, and then check to make sure your team has a solid lineup. If not, maybe fall into your backup role to help the team out. It sucks sometimes when we don't get to play who we want. However, in my personal opinion, I think it sucks a little bit more when we lose the game. Tip number 2 is adapting. It's fairly similar to tip number 1, although instead of focusing on your own team, we're actually focusing on the other team. Adapting refers to changes that are being made based on the other team's heroes or playstyle. An example of this is if their team is playing Spider-Man or Panther and they are absolutely destroying your backline by diving them, a DPS of yours could switch to Namor, as he's probably the biggest counter to dive we have. Adapting is all about discovering why your team's not doing good and then trying to find ways to fix it. It's a kind of problem solving, and the better you become at it, the more likely you are to come up with a solution for your team and win more of your games. Obviously, you can't win all of your games. Sometimes it's as simple as their team is more experienced, or they have better players, or maybe they're being carried by a Smurf account. In these situations, there's not much adapting to be done. The best you can do is try your best. But at the end of the day, these situations for the most part are anomalies. Most of your games will have a clear problem that if you can solve it, you will drastically improve your chances of winning. Tip number 3 is positioning. I've used positioning for almost every single one of my tip videos. I try not to reuse any tips, but for positioning, I can make an exception. The reason is, it's just so important and not very many people focus on it. With good positioning, you can get an advantage in a fight. It's as simple as asking the question, where can I damage them that they can't damage me? Well, some good places are around a corner, standing by your healers, behind your tanks, high ground, flank routes, or really any combination of these. There's really endless possibilities, and some of the best spots are places you would never expect. I suggest you give it a try. Play a game or two where you really try to focus on your positioning. I can almost guarantee you will come by easier kills and less deaths if you truly start to focus on it. Tip number 4 is to communicate. After all, communication is key. I know we are all gamers and sometimes we just aren't the best at socializing. Trust me, I feel you. But communication is the easiest way to make sure that your entire team is on the same page. You are going to have some teammates that rage.
You're Rappy, you're atrocious. Don't play comp, please. You're a detriment, bud. And same with you, Raccoon, you're actually pissed. Don't know how you play the easiest healer in the game and you're that terrible. It's actually
Bro, we went 5 and 11.
1
bro.
in 9 and you have no heal.
But you just need to tune them out. Their emotions got the best of them. You don't want yours to make it worse. Just focus on communicating the information that can actually help your team. It's not beneficial to get upset with your team and take it out on them. Everyone is just trying to win. Teammates getting mad at each other is just the opposite of what you should be doing to win the game. Make sure you take control of yourself, save the emotions for after the game, and communicate only valuable information to help give your team an edge in the match. Tip number 5 is don't depend on your team. I'm not gonna lie, number 5 kind of contradicts tip number 4 just a little bit. After all, it is a team game we're playing, but at the end of the day, it's best to focus on what you can control over what you can't. You can control how you play. You can communicate how you think your teammates should play, but you can't take their controllers or keyboards and play for them. I understand sometimes games can feel like your team is doing absolutely nothing, but as long as you're trying and doing everything that you can to win, there's not much more you can do. Focusing on what you can control is more beneficial than focusing on what you can't control, especially in solo queue, because going in, your team could have a completely different agenda than you. Not everyone can be playing at their best all the time, not even the pros. And by focusing on yourself, you can devote more of your energy to improving yourself. And after the game, even if you lose, you'll still have some more experience for the next game. If you focus on your solo growth, you can really improve your game in a very short amount of time. When solo queuing, you are the only constant in all of your games. The other team will change, your teammates will change, but you are the only thing that stays the same. Therefore, if you're improving yourself, you will rank up and improve your own game along the way. Tip number 6 is a bonus tip, and it is to have fun. At the end of the day, Marvel Rivals is a game and is made to be enjoyed. If you take it too seriously, you'll find yourself getting frustrated and annoyed, and you won't want to play the game anymore. The best advice I can give from one person to another is this: go into every game session trying your best to have a good time. If you end up losing, oh well. As long as it's a fun experience, then the game is doing its job. We all love to win, but unfortunately, someone always has to be on the losing side of every single game. If you go into the game to have fun, you will probably improve more, rank up more, and overall just be happier playing the game. Alright, that's it for my top 5 tips for solo queue players. If you guys enjoyed the video and you want to see more Marvel Rivals content, make sure to subscribe as I post videos like this every single week. Also, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. I appreciate all the support on my recent videos. Seriously, thank you guys. I hope you all have a great day. See you in the next one.
I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Keenan.